Victor here, bringing you Fairytail, final season anime review. This was episode 292, or 22 depending on where you go to watch it, known as Non-Soul Revival. It continues off with Sheila and Wendy continuing the battle against Demaria. And Wendy, it looked like she was gaining the power of Third Origin, what they were speaking about last episode. But as she started to continue this battle against, Demaria and her Godslayer takeover, she noticed that she ain't getting no stronger. She's in her base dragon form, and it's like Dragon Force, and she's not really doing no damage. And then we see Sheila, she comes in and she slaps a beam that's meant to kill Wendy out the way, and we see her older, more mature. And you even notice that her voice is a little bit different. And she was like, "Sorry, Wendy, when you was fighting, we were using that to buy time, and she used it on me." And Wendy felt real bad and was crying, because she came here to help out and save her, but at the end, it was like things got turned around, and she was the one that ended up being saved. So she felt kind of bad, especially because, the sacrifice of using Third Origin is that you can't use your magic no more. Technically, Third Origin is technically what Gon did in Hunter x Hunter. If you have, haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, I advise you to pause and speed this video up 10 seconds. But for those that watched it, remember when Gon sacrificed all his nin to become an adult form, and he used that power to beat Apito? That's technically the same thing that Sheila did. She wasted her whole magic source of the future, and now to be able to tap into this form and fight Demaria. And she was able to beat Demaria. It was still a hard fight for her, because Demaria is extremely strong and she was putting up a good fight. But thanks to her having that infinity that was strong against Demaria, she won thanks to that, but she could no longer use magic. And the time that she froze stopped and everything went back to normal. And Charlotte wakes up to see Wendy hitting her, but she's crying a lot. And she's like, "What's going on? Why are you crying, Wendy?" And then Wendy started to say, "We came here to help Sheila in the game, but it ended up that she ended up turning around and helping us." And then Sheila, she turned around and she said, she kind of like teared, and she was like, "Don't worry, Wendy. I'm not really upset that I lost my magic, because love is stronger than magic." And you have that sweet moment between them there. Then we switch over to the Guildhall, and the Guildhall, they plotting their victory because they're happy that one of the Spriggans just fell, Demaria, and they celebrating. And they notice that on the scanner that two of the Spriggans that were coming down, they stopped. And for this, out of the four Spriggan that was supposed to come down, we know God Serena, he died, and there was supposed to be three left. Two left actually, Jacob and the other one. And when they were coming down, their signal was still on the board, but we see Jacob entered into the Guildhall, and everyone was confused, like, what's going on? And Jacob basically told them that August used his magic to stop y'all from tracking us, because he felt that y'all were tracking us by using sensory magic, or radar magic, I believe he pronounced it as. And he said that he stood over there to stop y'all from tracking me to come over here. So that's how he was able to sneak by and get here. And he told them to, he told the bartender chick with the blue hair who knows Cobra, he told her, "Go get me a drink." And the girl master, Makaraj, he ain't like that. He was like, "No, we don't give out drinks to enemies." And he's like, "Oh, I wanted to have a last drink with you before you're passing." And he was like, "Yep, my passing?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm an assassin." And it was weird because somebody called him on there. They're like, "How can you be an assassin? An assassin usually hides in the shadows, carry weapons, don't leave no witnesses behind, comes in and out. You do nothing like that. You just barge in here and pronounce yourself." He's like, because the people I hunt, I leave nothing behind. No witnesses, no trails, no nothing." And the next thing we know, he claps his hand, and this black cloud of energy covers the whole Guildhall. And everybody disappeared, except for Mavis, because she's a ghost. So she stood there, and he was like, "Ah, so you're still here." And Mavis got freaked out, like, "What? He can see me?" And it gets worse. He cannot just see Mavis. Thanks to his magic, he can actually attack her. And he was attacking her, making her go through pain. saying that your guild members are still alive. If you wish for them to stay that way, I can bring them out, but you have to tell me where your body's at, the real fairy heart. And she didn't know if to trust him or not. And it looked like he was gonna try to finish her off, but Lucy came in and kicked him in the back of the head and sent him flying with the Lucy kick. And Mavis was happy to know that at least one person is there with her to help out. And Jacob, who's the assassin, he got there and he got up from the hit because he flew away, but he didn't get knocked down. There's a difference. And he got kind of upset that Lucy kicked him, so he threw a dagger at her. And she went to block it, like flinch her arms upwards, but Natsu stepped in and he ended up blocking it. And it actually did hit Natsu, but because Natsu's body is so overheated, it melted when it went into him. So it was kind of weird. Yet though he has no scar of the blade, but yet it was melted when it touched him. So it's weird how Natsu's power is now working. It's like his body heat can now literally destroy things that are around him if he wants it to. That's how strong Natsu had become from this 1 year time skip that we have. Yeah, I think it was 1 year. So, but after that, they start to tussle back and forth, and it looked like Natsu had the advantage. But then Jacob does something weird, and he does this teleport thing where he completely vanished out of existence to attack. And he also hides his weapon as well. He does the same thing. He's attacking Natsu, Lucy, and Maris. And it's kind of hard to fight him because everything he has is invisible. It looked like he was going to throw something at Natsu, but then we found out it was actually a whip, and he whipped Lucy in the face. Then there was another situation where he threw a dagger at Mavis, but it actually ended up hitting Lucy. So his magic is very, very weird, but convenient in battle, especially for someone who's an assassin. And we've seen that he does have some pretty good hand-to-hand combat. And on a side note, if y'all don't know, this guy Jacob, he was actually based off of Jason Statham from The Transporter. That's why he's dressed the way he's dressed, and his name is Jacob. So it was kind of funny on a side note how Hiro Mashima threw that in, made a character from one of his favorite movies and threw him in here. That was kind of cool. But yeah, Jacob seems to have the upper hand. And then he does a mistake, and he pins Natsu on the floor, and he says, "Look at Lucy," and he takes off her clothes with his magic, and he's like, "Look at her naked body," and feel embarrassed and ashamed, and he's closing his eyes, squinching, because that's actually his weakness, is seeing females naked. Yeah, out of all the weaknesses Hiro Mashima could have gave him, that really is like the dumbest weakness, but it is what it is. It's Fairytail. You gotta love it for what it is. I mean, yeah, it may not be the best written series, but it does the hype train very well, and it is exciting to watch. Yeah, it's not the best written, I can admit that, but it is what it is. I mean, it makes sense anyway. He's an assassin, so it's like he doesn't really have time for the female counterpart to hang out and chill with and go on dates with. So it's like seeing a female naked to him is like, oh my god, forbidden fruit. But it was just funny seeing his face square up and stuff. Then you have Natsu and Lucy pretending that she's doing nasty things like shaking around naked, taking off her clothes, even though he should have known that her clothes are already off thanks to his magic. He's the one who did it in the first place. And they were just playing this wordplay just to bring down his guard. And as you see in the thumbnail, you got Lucy kick and Natsu's dragon talon, and they both hit him in the face and they sent him flying. And that one he felt at full force. And he got real upset. He's like, "Your brat's just upset an adult. Prepare for the consequences." And that was just the final of it. But yeah, this was a good episode. And a lot of people are going to complain because one, it's Fairytail. Everyone loves to bash on Fairytail in the anime community, especially on YouTube. And I know a lot of people are going to get mad that Jacob's weakness is that it's females that are showing, cleavage or whatever. That's his weakness. The way I see it is that I find it as more of a comical relief for him, as well as a weakness. Especially since, fairy tales, the way they females dress, most of them dress provocatively. So it's like, that's technically his biggest weakness. So, this also improves and shows Luffy's fight and how she, improved. We get to see other stuff from her. She also did summon Leo to help her in one of the fights to find Jacob when he was trying to go invisible and stuff. So Lucy has been useful in this arc, especially in this fight so far. It just began. So yeah, props to Lucy. But again, great episode, great stuff. Feel bad for Sheila. She can't use magic no more. Can't wait for next week's episode. Supposedly it's something about Historian of the Corpse, which sounds very interesting for a title. We also gonna have Maris that she discovered at the end of this episode that she has a way now to defeat the Zeref. We're not sure how she's gonna beat Zeref, but we do know that she discovered a way to do it. So props to her, smartest chick in the show. Hopefully it works. But yeah, I'm excited for next week's episode, the conclusion of August and Lucy and Natsu versus Jacob. Can't wait to see August, what he's gonna do when he arrives, because he should be arriving shortly. Also can't wait to see how people are gonna react to Sheila not being able to use magic no more. What is her girl gonna do with her? Since she's not a mage no more, she really can't go on quests. So what is she really gonna do? How she's gonna sustain herself financially? That's another thing. But even though I doubt her girl's gonna kick out, even though she can't use magic, she'll probably be like Mary Jane, just there as a waitress or a serving girl to do paperwork. But yeah, great episode, great stuff. If you have not watched it, otherwise you go watch it. Episode 299 or episode 22, depending on where you go to watch it. But it was great stuff. Love the art and animation. It gets better and better. That's one thing Fairytail does not lack in, is art and animation and their music. They're very, very good at those two things. And emotional pulling and stuff. But that's all I have for you guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Share with your family and friends. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to get more whenever I post upload. Follow me on Twitter. Link will be down below. Tell me what you thought of the episode and what you liked about it and what you didn't like. Tell me your predictions for next episode. Let's have some fun with this, guys. But that's all I have for you. Peace out. Have a